so this video you sent about blue-collar workers being fed up. Wow. I got to say, after watching it, I kind of felt like joining a picket line myself.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's just had enough. Rising costs, wages stuck in the mud. I don't even know where to begin. But let's dive in. What's the first thing that pops out from your notes?
Well, I think what's really interesting here is how the video, it really focuses on this wage gap idea. And it's not just about like making more money, right? It's about like what that money can actually get you in the world. Like the creator, he uses this example of getting, a $10 an hour raise.
Oh, yeah.
Which sounds awesome, right? On paper, $10 an hour.
Right.
But then he's like, but my rent's gone up, and suddenly that extra cash just doesn't cut it anymore.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to outrun inflation on a treadmill.
Right.
You're working harder. Maybe you're even making more, technically. But are you really getting ahead? I don't know. For a lot of folks, I feel like just putting food on the table, keeping a roof over their head, it's constant stress.
Absolutely. And I think this is where, like, understanding a little bit of the economic history is kind of helpful. Blue-collar work, by its very nature, it's always been tied to the cost of essential stuff.
Right.
Like the cost of goods and services. I mean, think about it. The price of steel goes up because you need energy to make it, to move it, So what happens? The cost of building a house goes up, the cost of building a bridge, a car, things that, blue collar folks often build.
Yeah.
Those prices all go up.
Right.
And that, it impacts their own cost of living. So it's a cycle, and it's been playing out for over a century, but it feels like the pace is just it's different now.
Yeah. And the video creator, he points to outsourcing as a big culprit, right?
Yeah.
He threw out a kind of scary statistic, something like 300,000 manufacturing jobs, just poof, gone every year.
Yeah.
Shipped overseas, mostly to China.
Yeah, and it's complicated because on one hand, it can make things cheaper, right? So for companies, lower production costs often means lower prices for consumers.
Okay.
But the downside, of course, is what happens to those jobs.
Yeah.
When a factory shut down, move overseas, entire communities feel it.
So it's like this, I don't know, like a balancing act. Cheaper stuff versus, having a stable job.
It is.
And from what I got from the video, it feels like the scales are they're off kilter right now.
Yeah.
The creator seemed especially fired up about the connection between all this outsourcing and then the rising cost of living and like how it all loops back to energy.
Mm-hmm.
He showed a grocery bill. It's almost $100 and it was just basic stuff.
Yeah. And that's where I think, the global picture gets even more complex.
Oh.
So you've got the cost of crude oil, right? That's
Right.
a major energy source.
Yeah.
And it's all over the place, the price.
Yeah.
Up and down, you never know.
Wild.
But when oil prices go up, well, guess what? Transportation costs, they go up too.
Makes sense.
Because trucks, they need gas, right? And trains, ships.
Yeah.
And since pretty much everything we eat, use, wear, it relies on transportation, those increased costs, they trickle down to us.
To us, the consumer.
Right, the people buying the stuff.
It's like this, I don't know, this hidden tax on everything.
Right.
But instead of, going to the government, it's just like, who even knows where it goes?
Right.
When gas prices are through the roof, someone's getting rich, right?
Yeah.
But it's not me.
Yeah, it's easy to feel, I think, kind of helpless in all this when you see these global things, impacting your daily life.
Yeah.
And it's not just, the grocery bill either. He talks about the creator, he talks about housing.
Yeah.
And like, how do you find an affordable place to live?
Oh, tell me about it. I saw something on the news the other day about how much rent has gone up, even in places that used to be, doable.
Right.
And he said the creator that he was paying like $1,300 for a 3-bedroom place.
Yeah.
5 years ago. And now, forget it. You can't even find a studio for that in the same area.
It's wild.
They're just insane.
And it's, it's a bunch of different things coming together. Like we were talking about inflation, that's hitting everything.
Right.
But then you zoom in on housing, you've got, not enough places to live and tons of people who want to live there.
Yeah, so basic economics,
Right.
Supply and demand.
Exactly.
Fewer places, more people who want to be there, boom, prices go crazy.
Yeah.
And for people in blue-collar jobs, I mean, so many of them, they can't just like work from home.
Right, they have to be there.
You got to be there.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah, they're stuck.
Move to someplace cheaper. But then what? They risk losing their job?
Exactly. It's a tough spot to be in.
For sure. And you can tell the creator of the video, I mean, he's frustrated. And I get it. It's got to feel like the system is working against you when you're, working your tail off, but still can't get ahead.
I can see that.
And I think that's why he ends with this question. He's like, why is blue collar America so fed up? Like he's searching for answers, searching for solutions. And he kind of touches on this idea of unions.
Okay.
Like maybe that's a path forward.
Interesting.
Because, at least if you're in a union, you have like the power in numbers to bargain, right? To fight for better pay, better benefits.
And that's, that's a really important historical thread to think about here, because unions they've played a huge role in, making things better for workers.
Yeah.
Especially in industries where, you've got a lot of blue collar jobs.
So it's like, what is it they say? There's strength in numbers.
Right.
But I'm curious, like with everything we've been talking about, right? Globalization, automation, what's the impact been on unions? Have they been able to keep up?
That is the question.
Yeah.
$1 million question, I think. And it's not, you can't just say yes or no,
Right.
On the one hand, they're still incredibly important, I think, because they provide this counterbalance, right, to corporate power, especially when you're talking about like negotiating wages, benefits, safety stuff, those things. They give workers a way to have a voice, as a group. And I think that's especially important in industries where maybe an individual worker, they might not feel like they can speak up. They might feel too scared.
Right, like they're all alone.
Exactly.
So there's still a place for them in today's world.
Oh, absolutely.
But you said it's complicated. What are some of the the challenges that unions are facing in trying to address all this stuff, all these blue collar blues?
Well, for one thing, we've talked about how manufacturing jobs in the U.S., a lot of them have disappeared, right? Partly because of outsourcing.
Yeah.
And that's led to, a drop in union membership. Fewer factory workers often means fewer union members.
Oh, I see.
And, fewer members means less bargaining power.
It's like they're losing members because of the very thing they're fighting against.
Exactly. It's a tough spot. And then you add on top of that, you've got this rise of like the gig economy, freelancing, contract work that doesn't really fit neatly into like the traditional union structure. And then there's automation, like robots are coming for our jobs, right? And a lot of people are worried that some blue collar jobs, those are the ones that might be, replaced entirely.
So where does that leave us? Are unions, are they just like a thing of the past? Or do they actually hold, I don't know, like the key to a better future for blue collar workers?
I don't think it's either, to be honest. I think it's more that they're going to have to like evolve.
It's adapt.
Yeah, to stay relevant. They're going to have to figure out, how do you organize workers in these new types of jobs?
Right.
How do you use technology to your advantage?
Interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
So no easy answers here. No like magic wand solution. But, going through all this, it brings home how important this all is. This isn't, just some theoretical thing. This is real people's lives.
100%. These are real struggles.
It's real people trying to make ends meet, to take care of their families.
And we need to be listening to them.
We do. And this video, it's easy to tune it all out, right? To just hear the economy, inflation, blah, blah, blah.
It all just blends together.
But this video, it puts a face on these struggles.
Yeah.
It reminds us that there are real people behind the statistics and the jargon.
And we all need to be part of the solution.
Yeah, we can't just throw up our hands and say, oh, well, that's the economy for you.
Exactly.
We need to be talking about this.
Wow.
Thinking about solutions.
Absolutely.
So, to everyone listening, we want to hear from you. Have you seen these challenges in your own life? What ideas do you have?
Yeah, let's keep the conversation going.
Don't be shy. Share your thoughts. Until next time.